Hello everyone, welcome to the Apollo ELD 4.0 portal walkthrough. Today I'll be taking you through the essential tabs to the left-hand side. The first one we'll be going through is the Manage tab, and this is essentially the most important tab here. Once this information is set up, we want to make sure it is set up properly so that the information flows in the perfect way. So here, let's create a new carrier. So the first bit of information that is asked is a DOT number. And so you want to put in that DOT number and validate that DOT number. You'll see here that we were not able to validate that DOT number. However, it will still allow you to save the information because you validated the information. If you skip the validate DOT number, you will not be able to save this information. So you want to go ahead and follow through with that. And then the carrier name, tracking, we'll go here. The carrier address, so this will become the default first home terminal for the driver. So this is for the carrier, pardon me. So here you put in the carrier address, country, time zone, units, and then if you want to generate an API key, you can do so here by generating API key. And then there's a few action items that you can tick off. So here, automatic driving immediately after vehicle moves. So that means as soon as the vehicle moves and motion is detected, it will kick the driver into driving. Otherwise, the driver will have to travel 5 miles per hour for 5 minutes in order to be kicked into automatic driving. The other one is Force Asset ECM connection. This is a two-step setup. So here you want to tick off this box. And then when we get to asset icon, we can further set this up by putting in the MAC address for the ECM. You must set up both pieces in order for this to work properly. If you tick this off and do not set up the MAC address under assets, the driver will not be able to see any devices to connect to when they scan. So you want to ensure that this piece is properly set up. When this is properly set up, once a driver selects their asset and they scan for device, the only device the driver will be able to see is the one associated with the asset they've selected. Driver must use portal asset list. If you take this off, you essentially remove the ability for a driver to create their own assets. So they would only be able to select from the asset list that has been provided to him or her. Once you've set up this important information, you want to go ahead and click Save. And this is confirming all of this information is correct. And let's click OK. So here we have Emma's trucking. I have my DOT number and a C number here. And then the 5 action icons. The first one is a carrier details. So this is essentially all the information we just set up. So if at any moment you need to come in here and make any changes to this information, you can certainly do that. And then just click Save once you've completed that. So you want to make sure that all the information in here is correct. For now, I'm going to go ahead and close. I'm then going to go over to the driver. So as you can see, I have no drivers created because I just created Emma's trucking. So I want to create a new driver. You click on New, and you would write the first name of the driver, the last name of the driver. Anything that has a red asterisk must be filled in, and then a username. So the username, it has to be unique in our system, a unique username. If you put in a username that's already in use, we will notify you as well. You want to set up that password so the driver can log in to his or her application. The proper rule sets here. So I'm going to go ahead and stay on the 70 hours, 8 days. And then here, DVIR access. So this is in your piece. You want to provide DVIR access, no DVIR, or DVIR only access. So you have an option to select from the following 3. For now, I want this driver to have DVIR access. And then there's a few tick boxes here that you're setting up for this driver. As a reminder, this is not an account setting. This is a driver setting. So you can make these, you can add these per driver and control this per driver. So if you want to allow this driver to use personal use and you're license number, go here. And then this field is required. As you can see, if you hover over the question mark, it must be between 2 to 20 characters and cannot contain non-alphanumeric characters. So here we always try to give you those little guidelines. If you hover over the question marks in each of the fields, we'll let you know what they mean and if they're required. And then you have a few more tick boxes here for the driver. So DVIR Wi-Fi only, allowed to take DVIR photos. So if you take this off, the driver will be able to mark themselves as exempt. If you remove it, then the driver will no longer have that ability. And the last one, allowed to take DVIR photos. If you select this, you're allowing that driver to have the ability to take photos and attach them to the DVIR. If this is unselected, the driver will not have that capability. And then from here, you'll see save and unlock. So the unlock feature is something we get asked about often. The unlock feature essentially releases a driver's credentials. I will give you a use case for this. The driver's on the road and they're, signed into their tablet and they happen to drop their tablet and it breaks. The driver is not able to log out and the driver will not be able to sign in again using a different a tablet or cell phone because their credentials are already in use. At this point, the dispatcher, fleet manager, administration would hit unlock, releasing that driver's credentials, allowing them to log in to an alternate device. Once you've filled in all this information, you would click on save. And there you go. You've now created a new driver. So here you have the driver's information, their name, their username, their home base, their license number. From here, you can activate or deactivate the driver, and then action icons here. If you want to edit some of this information for the driver, you certainly can do so here. For example, if you have to change that driver's username, if you have to change that driver's password, you would reset the driver's password from here. If you wanted to change from DVIR access to no DVIR, you can certainly make those changes here. And you can also untick some of the boxes that you ticked off earlier. So again, any edits, you would make those edits from there. The next action icon here is the home terminal, home bases. So let's select that. You can see that I already had my default home base created based on the information I filled out during the carrier setup. From here, this one is defaulted as main office just because I only have one home base currently set up. If you need to take any actions, you can do so here. That's a detail information. And here's the driver assignment. So this driver is saved to this home terminal. If you wish to add a home terminal, you can certainly do that here. Click on new. And something I want to point out, anytime you want to click or add something new, it's always displayed here on the upper right hand side, and we maintain that for ease of use of the portal and consistency. So again, everything that needs to be filled out here has a red asterisk next to it. So from here, the location name, the address, longitude and latitude, it's connected to Google Maps. So once you've put in the address, it will find this information for you. What time zone is this home base set up in? So obviously you have a drop-down box with a few selections here, whether it's Atlantic, Central, so on and so forth. And then you can set this one up as a main office. So you can add as many home bases as you need. You would simply put in the important information and click save. I'm going to go ahead and click close for now. And then the next piece here is the assets. So you can see I have no assets created. If I wish to add a new asset, I would click in, the type of asset, whether a tractor or a trailer, the number that I wish to assign to this asset. And you can see here, it lets me know what those parameters are. It must be up to 10 characters. The VIN number, it's not required tractor VIN. So you can see here, I have the important information. Once you put in the VIN number, a lot of the information here will be pre-populated for that asset. So the plate number, registration state, the home base, and description. So let's go back up because I did select a trailer and I want to select. You can see the difference here when I'm selecting a tractor. Numbers is it's a two-step process, and we must put in the MAC address under asset. This is where you would pass for this asset. So when the driver scans for devices, this will be the only and click save, and then I would have completed my first asset. And then the last action icon here is notification. So from here, I'm going to click on new. I'm going to set up a new notification. So from here, I can attach this notification to a home base. I would name this notification. So I'm going to go ahead and name this one violations. Select the type of notification. So here's the drop-down box with the type of notifications we currently have available. Unidentified driving. So if there's an unidentified driving events, who would need to receive that type of notification? HOS violation, ELD malfunction, driving without engine data, DVIR non-compliance, special moves, no pre-trip inspection report, rejected carrier edits. So these are all the types of notifications that you're able to have. So here, if I want to pick HOS violation, I would put in the email addresses of everyone who would need to receive these type of notifications. So if it's a fleet manager, dispatcher, you can add an unlimited amount of emails in here. And then once you have this all set up, you would click on save. As you can see, it's not letting me save the information because I have not set up any email addresses. And then let's select the driver, and then we're going to click on save. So here you go. I've created a violation for, I created a notification called violations. it's an HOS violation. And at any time, I can search here for different types of notifications that I've set up. I can edit those notifications, and I can delete those notifications as well. So if you need to make any changes, you can certainly do so here. So this takes us through the manage piece, essentially the initial setup for your carrier.